pro-Palestinian encampment at the University of Toronto could soon be nearing its end after a judge officially ordered protesters to leave campus by this evening. Caryn Ceolin joins us now. Caryn, they have just hours left until police could move in. You spoke with protesters. What are you hearing this morning?
Faiza, how does this all end? That is the question even encampment participants are attempting to answer this hour as they approach a 6 p.m. deadline to pack up the remaining of their tent village or risk arrest. Now, what I can show you is that patches of green and yellow grass on King's College Circle are visible once again. If you recall, upwards of 200 plus tents had filled the space here. But as you can see, some of it is starting to be dismantled. Participants are visibly removing personal items at this hour. They are filling wagons with supplies and other large objects as they prepare for possible police action. Now, what I can tell you, Faiza, is that Toronto police will enforce the court's order, but they are hoping that protesters leave voluntarily. That being said, those who remain here are still very much deliberating whether or not to comply with the injunction, and a definitive decision has not yet been made regarding dismantling the entire encampment. Organizers do tell me, however, that the encampment is just one tactic and they will continue their activism on campus. Have a listen.
So the encampment has proven to be an extremely powerful tactic. It took for us to establish this encampment, for UFT to even approach the negotiating table, for them to even utter the word Palestine. We don't know if we're exiting, but again, that's a decision we're making, whether that is something we comply with or not. Going forward into the future, of course, at some point this encampment will have to come down. That does not mean that we are leaving. We will continue, applying pressure on this very campus.
Now, if protesters do decide not to comply with the injunction, they do face a range of measures, including not just forcible removal by police, but also disciplinary sanctions from the university, as well as prosecutions for trespassing, Faiza.
Well, Caryn, this decision coming from the judge yesterday afternoon, 98 pages long. You went through that decision and what the judge had to say. What can you tell us?
Now, important to note is that the judge in this case did say that there was no evidence that encampment participants were violent or anti-Semitic. However, he did write that their actions were inconsistent with freedom of expression. He noted that they've controlled the entry to the front campus in a way that has excluded opposing voices or people who are apolitical. He wrote in part, at the end of the day, the only people who are allowed onto front campus are those who agree with, or at least who do not openly disagree with protesters' belief. Now, Faiza, the judge made clear in his decision that this injunction doesn't necessarily mean that protesters cannot continue to protest on campus. He says that they can. What this does, however, is bar them from camping out overnight and erecting such structures that block access to university property. So again, encampment participants, they are slowly packing up valuables and slowly taking things out of the encampment. However, they are still in dialogue and in conversation and have not yet reached a consensus on how they will proceed once that 6 p.m. deadline comes tonight.
And it's quickly approaching, a story we'll be following throughout the day. Caryn Ceolin at King's College Circle, thank you.